Good evening, Mayor and City Councilors. I want to thank you for the opportunity to come and address you today about the American Rescue Plan grants. Let me the screen. Okay, all right. So for the American Rescue Plan grants, the way to access those grants is by logging into columbusga.gov/ARP. On this website, you will see a section that has three of the grant programs listed: the Small Business Grant Program, Hospitality Tourism Grant Program, as well as the Nonprofit Grant. The little arrows that point towards read complete details, if you click on those links, the user will be provided with a program overview, which provides all of the eligibility requirement document and really is a thorough explanation of what is required to be a participant in this grant opportunity. On that same page, there is a button that says Apply Now, and that's where users will go to apply for the opportunity. This is all three grants are reimbursable grants. That means that you had to spend money to be reimbursed through the award. The first reimbursable expense are space costs, and they include rent, mortgage, and insurance costs. And awarded firms that are going to seek reimbursement for those costs, they need to provide the documentation such as a lease or a mortgage agreement, and it shows the time that they're responsible for those costs, and the proofs of payment for those costs. The second reimbursable expense are utility costs, and they include electric, water, gas, phone, and internet. Awarded firms seeking reimbursement in this category should provide copies of the bills from the utility provider that clearly associates with the firm, location, as well as the operation of that business. And they also must clearly state the amount that is due from the firm and be separated from any other non-business related expenses. The third category of reimbursable expense is operational retrofitting. Operational retrofitting simply means it's a building modification expense to support the enhanced business persistence. So awarded firms seeking reimbursement in this category should provide things like copies from the contractor that performed the work, any applicable lien waivers, proofs of payment, permit receipts, occupancy certificates, if those things are applicable. So the first grant that I'm going to talk to you tonight about is the Small Business Grant. As you know and have approved, there's up to $3 million available for business relief through this program. The applications will be accepted on a rolling basis, and they will be accepted until all available funds are expended. And small businesses can seek reimbursement or award for up to $40,000. Some of the eligibility requirements for this grant: you should be a for-profit business that's not publicly traded. You should have a current City of Columbus business license. It's for-profit businesses in the City of Columbus with 1 to 25 employees at the time of the application. And you must have a physical presence of an organization or business in a building or other structure in the City of Columbus. Some additional small business eligibility things are, they have to demonstrate ongoing business operations since March 1st of 2019. They should not be in bankruptcy, current with all local, state, and federal taxes and other obligations. And they must be operational at the time that the grant is awarded. Some of the required documents that the businesses will need to provide are a notarized e-verify affidavit, applicable IRS tax forms, annual profit and loss statement, completed W-9 form for the business, W-3 summaries, IRS form 941s, and operating agreements in the case of multiple partners. The next grant opportunity that I'm going to talk to you about is the nonprofit grant. Up to $1 million is available for the ARP Nonprofit Relief Grant. Again, it's on a rolling basis, very similar to the Small Business Grant. Applications will be accepted until all of the funds are exhausted. up to $25,000 in reimbursable expenses for agencies with a minimum operating budget of $100,000. As an expansion, as the city manager alluded to and Deputy City Manager Hodge alluded to expand the program, we've added an additional piece for it. And so now up to $12,500 in reimbursable expenses is available for those nonprofit agencies with a minimum operating budget of $50,000. Some of the eligibility requirements include an active 501c3 designations status from the IRS with a minimum 2-year operating history. The nonprofit organizations must have a current City of Columbus business license. They must be physically located in the city, and they must also have physical presence in a building or other structure within the city. Some additional nonprofit eligibility requirements include the demonstration of ongoing business operations since March 1st of 2019, as well as the submission of a current written strategic or business plan for the organization. Some of the nonprofit required documents include copies of that IRS 501c3 designation letter, current certification from the Georgia Secretary of State, list of the Board of Directors, applicable IRS tax forms, the organizational bylaws, and a current strategic plan. The third opportunity that I'm going to talk about is the Hospitality Tourism Grant. Up to $850,000 is available for the ARP Hospitality Tourism Grant. It is open to both nonprofit and for-profit entities. Again, the applications will be accepted on a rolling basis until all available funds are expended, and this grant opportunity provides up to $25,000 in reimbursable expenses. Okay, so for the Hospitality Tourism Grant, I just said that it's for both for-profit and nonprofit entities. For the for-profit side of it, again, it mirrors the small business side in the terms of, not being publicly traded, have to have a current City of Columbus business license, and the physical structure within the City of Columbus. The demonstration of operations since March 1st of 2019. Be up to date with all the taxes, can't be in bankruptcy, and they need to be operational at the time that that grant is going to be awarded. On the nonprofit side, again, the 501c3 designation letter from the IRS with a minimum 2-year operating history. Must have a current City of Columbus business license, must be physically located in the city with a building or other structure, should be demonstrating the ongoing operations since March 1st of 2019 and have to have that written strategic or business plan for that organization. The required documents for the Hospitality Tourism Grant for the for-profit side include E-Verify affidavits, City of Columbus business licenses, annual profit and loss statements, IRS tax forms, completed W-9 form, another documentation. On the hospitality tourism side for the nonprofit, a copy of that IRS 501c3 designation letter again, the certification from the Georgia Secretary of State, list of the Board of Directors, IRS tax forms, and bylaws and a current strategic plan. So on the screen, I'm going to show you some statistics. As Deputy City Manager Hodge said in her presentation, these applications were available beginning January 11th. And so to date, in the ARP Business Grant applications, we've received a total of 259, with 236 applications still being in progress, with 23 applications being submitted. On the nonprofit side, we had a total of 74 applications, where 71 are in progress and 3 were submitted. And on the hospitality tourism side, we had 18 applications and 2 were submitted. So the word, this is just an indicator that the word is getting out about these opportunities and people are taking advantage of the opportunities in which you have afforded them. One of the biggest questions is who do I contact if I need more information? So the person that you should be contacting is Mr. Josh Beard, who unfortunately couldn't be here with us tonight. His email address is jbeard@columbusgachamber.org, and his telephone number is 706-596-7012. This concludes all that I have for you tonight. Do you have any questions or comments for me? Two questions.
Hold on just a minute.
Okay.
Operator error. Council Davis.
Director Scott, I have to be honest with everybody. I did not know you were coming to present tonight, nor have we talked or said anything about some of these things that I spoke about tonight. But I do believe you've got a great program. I believe you've got some things that can really help some people with our support. Like I said, to replenish some of those funds so you can do a lot more. And I just want to thank you for all you're doing now. And you know, I hear good things out in the community and your outreach and your connection with so many people, but it's not an easy job keeping that access and giving people access. I mean, you know, there's something maybe we can work on just the access in general throughout the city and how we communicate. Maybe those funds can improve some of that. You know a lot more about that than me in building that highway, but you know, maybe that's something that we can work on. I'm sure you got some ideas there, but I think some of the things you already do that we can help and reach out to those in need. And you know, and I've been impressed by all the great ideas you have. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Huff.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you being here this evening. And more so, I appreciate you being so patient with all the novices trying to pick your brain. We appreciate you to the highest. Double thank you for the packet. It's one thing to hear it, but to be able to go back and look at each individual application set, that's big. And I'll be in contact with you because I think it was mentioned by a couple other councilors today about the fact that we need to get out to the community and probably have some group sessions and everything so we can get the message out. And the last thing is, again, publicly, thank you. I thanked you earlier, but thank you for taking care of well, not necessarily a constituent, but a concerned citizen that was trying to get his paperwork in and how to process it. And he appreciates it. He couldn't be here tonight, but he appreciates it. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Councilor
Well, Mayor, I would just want to thank Director Rob Scott. I mean, he really simplified this, and you can hand this document off, or we post it on, and you know, if you're small business, nonprofit, or whatever, you can just look at it, and I think the questions are answered. And then if they're not, just contact Community Reinvestment, Rob Scott, and he'll take care of you. But he did an awesome job with this packet.